Welcome to Daddy Bits, our trade idea show hosted by yours truly, the Trading Daddies. I am the ugly one, and as always, my amazing co-host,
What's happening, mommies and daddies? Teflon John here.
Tef Lazy Fosheezy. Dude, how's your day?
I'm working on that sex operator voice.
It's like, hold on a second. Like, how did that even sound? I wouldn't know because every time I would usually call as a kid, remember, like, all right, anybody who hasn't tried it that grew up in the 80s, like grew up in the 90s, is definitely lying because at late at night after, let's say roughly around like 9:30 p.m. when you're watching Comedy Central, you'll see the commercials.
Deep voice with, you just got to be smooth with it, you know.
And I've always got, when I always called, it was always like ladies, you know, the free trial. But I haven't. Me, dude, like, tell me you haven't. Like as a kid,
no,
like,
man,
you're curious.
It's like $1 per second.
I know, but the first few minutes the first few seconds are kind of like free. Like, welcome to the party line. Like, you're
the party line.
Or, hey, baby, what are you doing today? Welcome to the party line.
I cannot with you.
Live girls are ready, available for you to chat with. Please press 1 and be ready with your credit card number.
Ooh.
Oh man, FANG stocks ran today. FANG stocks are good to go. I think it is it is indicative of the times that the FUD, which is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is starting to leave the marketplace, and we're seeing more and more runners. Let's talk about a couple of them actually in a trade review that I want to cover with you guys that I took myself. So let's take a look at market conditions after the intro. All right, we are back. Let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ. The QQQ, John, the QQQ wasn't too exciting today. Today was a chop fest.
Well, every time Daddy Powell speaks,
Lord J. Powell,
kapow,
J. Powell.
Every time he speaks, the markets, you know, it tends to be choppy. There's really no action up until, you know, he makes a decision, right?
And it dumps too. Like this right here. This is when he was starting to talk.
Yeah. Today was just a roller coaster type of day.
Yeah.
After hours,
this pop, and then gains were given back.
Yeah. Well, after hours was where the action was at.
Mm-hmm. And we're still above that level. You guys see that this is the 15-minute chart, right? It would always try to dip in that level or that bar that we drew a few episodes ago. And it's staying there, and it's staying above there. So I think, I mean, it keeps on getting rejected in that bar and then staying above it to close. There, with what's happening with the FANG stocks, I think that this could definitely gap up. If you're long on the Qs, I would definitely say that you're looking at what here? Potentially opening 340, 341. Yeah, 340-ish, right? There may be some initial sell-offs in the morning. What we like to do, again, not financial advice. This is the way that John and I trade. Plays that we talk about are something that we would like to enter ourselves. And if you guys are following, make sure that you guys follow at your own risk and make sure that you manage your own risk. And don't blame us if your positions go bad, especially if they go good. Donations are definitely acceptable. In the morning, usually what happens is the first 15, maybe sometimes the 30 minutes of the market, it tends to dip a little bit or sell off, and then you'll find strength again. That's usually normally what happens. If you're scalping, you want to be able to get those rides of momentum at the gates. But if you're swing trading, you want to make sure that you find a good level of strength. Or if your plan is to sell off in the morning, just go ahead and stick to your plan. Always have a trade plan, guys. Let's take a look at NASDAQ futures on the daily. Nice.
Share it.
It's nice. It's nice. 0.61, my guy. 0.61.
Yeah.
0.61. This is beautiful.
So we might see like a little gap up tomorrow.
Little gap up tomorrow and hold levels, I hope. Right. Let's take a look at the SPY.
Which is perfect.
The SPY is really it's consolidating.
SPY is all right. Well, it's tech that that wants to run.
Yeah, the SPY is consolidating.
Don't even worry about the Dow. What's Dow doing?
It's down.
Dow's not doing Dow's not doing anything.
No, Dow is the Dow. It's like 30 companies that don't move. Like what else do you want? What do you want from the Dow? You know what I mean? So I like the SPY. I like the Qs for tomorrow. If we're gonna take a look at SPY futures, not bad, 0.33.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a gap up tomorrow. So make sure that you guys are up and early tomorrow. There might be some good opportunities right at the open, or maybe probably around 7 o'clock, especially in the West Coast actually, because that's what was around the time that we trade. The reason why the Qs are running is because of our first stock, and the first stock is Apple.
Yeah,
Apple's been in this level of consolidation for quite some time now, and it hasn't really moved, right? We've talked about this before. This is the same level that we've been ever since the split. It's been trading around that level, like in and out, right?
Since September.
Since September, since the split. Yeah, it hasn't really moved. It hit a top at 145, and it kind of got hit with the tech sell-off, and it found a little bit of strength right around these levels. And what's interesting about Apple is what happened after they reported earnings. They beat all around, all across the board. They beat, and it popped.
Yep.
It popped. It closed at 133, and now it's at 136.
Yep.
3-point move. So that's going to gap up tomorrow for sure, roughly around the 136, 137 mark. Also, they announced a buyback. John, for the people who don't know, please explain what a buyback is.
So a buyback is when the company, well, first of all, you need to have money in hand, cash on hand to, repurchase shares, in the open market. So when a company buys back shares, okay, it's pretty simple. It's they basically hoard more shares, and that creates stability, that creates confidence when it comes to the company itself. So the company believes, in the vision, right? And they're basically reinvesting the money back to the company. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So what happens also in a buyback is what happens when the buyback, obviously the company takes in more shares and hoards it. There's less shares that are out in the public market. So that kind of drives the price up a little bit.
Yep.
So as I mentioned earlier, we've been trading around that level since September after the split, because there was a flood of shares. Yeah. Right? Because now there's going to be less shares out in the open market. I do feel that there may be a scenario where the price is going to start inching up a little bit, which will get us to a point where we're going to be happy trading Apple again. For the longest time, a lot of people have been holding on to Apple, not knowing what to do with it. But I think we could gain some good momentum with Apple in the future. The next stock that we want to cover is Facebook. Sheesh. Facebook did something amazing, John.
Facebook killed it.
Definitely killed it. Let me pull up the chart on Facebook.
This one right here, yeah, most likely it'll open around 326. That's where it's at right now after hours. So roughly about 6-7% above the closing price. And the funny thing is that for earnings, they grew what do you call this? Users by what? 8, was it 8% or 10%?
Was it 8%? Let me take a look at the news.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know this. Facebook makes a lot of money off of the marketplace because of the ads that they run. Okay. And one of the key points that you want to look at from their call was, 1 billion people visit the marketplace each month. 1
A
billion.
billion people?
Billion people, right?
Sheesh.
And that's pretty much, sometimes that's local, sometimes people ship it. Facebook will tell you, oh, it's free to list, but they bombard you with ads, right? And that's how they make their money. But for this one, if you look at the daily chart, obviously Facebook broke out after hours. It hit as high as what, 328 was it?
Yeah.
After hours. Here, let's take. No, yeah,
I got it right here.
328.40. Okay, so keep that in mind. Even though it's not showing on the actual market hours, okay, 328.40 is the current high. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind because that could be resistance right there. I'm not saying that Facebook will come down, but I think Facebook will inch up.
It's gonna open right around here, like way up here.
But just
like right around here.
I wouldn't be so bullish, first thing in the morning, because most likely this will sell off and people will take profit.
Oh yeah, always. People will always take profit.
Same thing with Google. We saw Google was up like 5%, and then it closed, above, I don't know, like 3%. So that 2% right there, people took profits, and the candle actually doesn't even look good. Google's candle, today's candle.
No.
So it's going to come down even more. So basically, what it's telling you is the market is selling off, any potential pops, right? Like, for example, Facebook, Apple's pop is, it's all right. I mean, it's 2%, but Facebook, it's 7%. It's considerably like high.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Facebook doesn't run 7%. They only do like 2 max.
3. 2 max.
Yeah. If you follow the stock itself, they don't jump 7%. So just do expect. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sell-off tomorrow. It's not going to crash the stock. People are just going to take profit, but most likely you'll see some selling pressure first thing in the morning. Okay,
definitely,
because that's a huge gap up from 326. Today's high was what, 310. So you got 16 points to cover on that one.
That's going to be like this gap that needs to be filled is a lot.
Yep. That's
a lot. And we'll come back to Facebook once once we think that it's a good entry. We're just covering the plays that could potentially be, that definitely need to be on your watch list. Like these FANG stocks definitely need to be on your watch list, because I mean these are the companies that you guys use on the daily. They move markets.
Yeah.
The reason why And the last stock that we want to cover,
well, I also wanted to cover Qualcomm, but Qualcomm.
Let's. You want to give them a bonus? Let's get into Qualcomm real quick.
Let's pull up Qualcomm real quick. If you guys are trading semiconductors, AMD, Nvidia. Obviously, Nvidia is the one that you want to follow, right? Because it's the biggest chip company in the world. So, just for QCOM, they beat earnings. Market sentiment was overall positive when it comes to QCOM. QCOM does pay 2% dividends. Okay, it's a forever hold. If you look at the 5 years, it's a super solid company. Their Qualcomm is used in a lot of cars, a lot of phones, tablets, computers, you name it. And their chart, it's actually it's a pretty chart. After today, it gapped up to 144. We're looking at a run again because that MACD was going to open up again tomorrow. It's not that big of a gap up, but I'm confident that QCOM will have a run again.
No, yeah, because this is right here. This is the flagpole.
Yeah.
This candle right here is the flagpole, and then this is the exact flag. If we're taking a look at the 15-minute chart, after hours, that big gap up at 146, and it held.
Mm-hmm.
So 143. So if we go back to the daily chart, it's going to open roughly around this right here. Right around here. Right there. That's where it's going to open up at. That's breaking out this flag right here. And for sure, we're going to see more people pile into that, especially if they magically find some semiconductors.
Right. Oh, yeah. And then, Tesla's earnings call, they were saying that, shortage here, shortage there.
Mm-hmm. Shortage everywhere.
lame ass excuse.
Doesn't matter, dude. Look at HD. There's a lumber shortage and HD's still running.
Oh, let's not talk about Home Depot, man. Like, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. The last stock that we want to cover is actually a play that I got into, which is Clover Health.
Yeah.
Clover Health. I got into Clover Health just because I feel that it's such an undervalued stock for what they do. Let's take a quick look from a bird's eye view. At the top at 17, it got hit by a short seller report. It went all the way to 630. Imagine like that's an 11-point drop, right? That's an 11-point drop, and it consolidated, and then now it's starting to get squeezed out, right? It's not as big as this day. We still found some really good volume for today. One thing to note, though, what I feel like there's going to be more is because this EMA 9 is just touching the 50. So if this ever crosses over, we're going to see a little bit more.
Yeah, that's bullish right there. But just be careful. I mean, I don't want to say be careful, but expect a pullback before it runs up again.
It always happens.
Yeah, I mean, you can already tell from the previous, 2 pops. When was this? Back in the 16th,
right here.
April 16th and the 9th. Every pop it comes back down and ride the moving average. Yeah, I mean, people see that and then they'll do the same exact thing.
Yeah. So there's going to be more here. I mean, my calls are pretty far out still. I actually added yesterday, so I'm kind of happy that I did. They are finally, printing. I almost hit 150% earlier, but I saw this right. I was about ready to get out of the position, but I saw this right here, so I decided to stay in because I feel like there's going to be more.
This is a Papa Polly stock, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. One of his OG specs, Papa Polly. Never bet against Papa Polly. Anything else?
That's it.
That is it. That is it for Daddy Bits. If you guys like this content, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, post notification bell, give us a nice thumbs up if you guys like this content.
We're growing, by the way.
We are growing. Thanks for the new subscribers. Yeah.
Thank you to the new subscribers. Hopefully you guys learned some new content here. We try to provide, daily, newsletters to you guys, stuff that you don't get to read, but we get to deliver it to you for free. Tell your auntie, tell your cousins, tell your dog, hit that subscribe button.
Yep, definitely hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're not yet in the Discord, make sure that you guys hit the Discord link down below. It is free. A lot of people would charge you $250 just to get into your Discord, but we will give it to you for free. Also, if you guys want to learn how to trade, we have our good friends over at Bust Down Investments. We'll also drop a link down below so that you guys could check them out. You guys want to get better as a trader, get more tips and tricks. Make sure you guys hit them up. Our very own Tef Leezy Foshizi actually did one of their sessions yesterday. So
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So, watch out for that. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all our socials. Follow me at Trading Poppy. Follow John at John C Trades, at Trading Daddies for the both of us. TradingDaddies.com for all your news and your merch. Robinhood sucks for 15% off your entire purchase. Let's get trading, John. And remember that the charts do not lie.
Yeah.